Alright, so who wants to be on my team to go to Mars? I, when it's really hot around here, I spend a lot of time looking at travel sites. Because I like to imagine all of the places around the world that's a lot colder than where I am at the moment. That would be fun to travel. Which is absolutely a luxury for me because my entire life I've had a house full of pets and such as, and um, right now I'm a full-time caretaker for my sister who has autism. So getting out of the house for a day trip is kind of a challenge, let alone you know, getting on an airplane. Um, naturally, naturally, transgalactic travel is definitely a fantasy, but on the Yahoo travel site, they posted an article that a Dutch organization known as Mars One is essentially setting up a competition to send people to settle Mars. It is a one-way trip, and the plan is to collect submissions, 1-minute videos from would-be settlers, um, where they pay a fee, submit the video, and then they are chosen to compete in a 2-year reality television competition where the viewers get to choose their favorites, and the top 24 are then sent to Mars in groups of 4, with 2 years in between. So over a span of, uh, say, 12 years, starting in 2023. So you have to be pretty patient even just to take off. So there you go. And yeah, so reality television meets space. This is what happens when space exploration meets the private sector, but that's okay. At least something's getting done, right? So anyway, that's happening, and I couldn't help but think what would happen if any pagans decided to compete. Uh, you have to be at least 18, giant surprise. So you'll be at least 28 before you get to go, I guess. But and I'm of course using pagan in the broadest sense, most generalized umbrella term. But I have to wonder how the overall pagan mindset, religious practice, whatever, would translate to zero gravity and ultimately the red planet. I know some, not all, pagans are very nature-based in their worship, and it's Mother Earth, very much the Gaia principle, and can that be adapted to a different planet altogether, especially one that's painfully inhospitable at the moment? Or would a journey to Mars and the recolonization of a pagan denomination, for lack of a better word, would that be better suited to, say, hard polytheists who are centered on non-nature based gods, or occultists, or ceremonialists, or a humanist tarot reader? I'm not sure. If drawing down the moon is absolutely critical to your practice, can you do that from the surface of Mars? So it's an interesting thought. Do the gods move with you? Can you reach them from wherever you might be? If we are forced to go to other planets, to other systems, will paganism as we identify it now still maintain certain core principles, whatever those might be? I mean, will our mythology and gods have to radically change to adapt to a new environment? I mean, the Roman pantheon is named after the planets of this system. Would that work if we were around Sirius 4 or whatever? On the flip side, I can imagine if Mars, for instance, is a deity that that's your patron, that deciding to open the first temple of Mars on Mars itself would be the ultimate act of devotion. I think it's something like a 3-year journey to get to Mars. That might have been sped up, but I think that's the last time I read anything on the journey there. So I think it has a lot to do with where Mars is in relation to us. But it's definitely food for thought. I'm a pantheist, but not necessarily under that kind of umbrella term. The notion of Gaia makes sense, but in a very generalized fashion as well. So I don't kind of anthropomorphize our planet as a singular consciousness, not in the same way that we're conscious. But in any case, I'm still very, very comfortable with being able to, breathe, our atmosphere and take hikes in our mountains and, be aware that there is wildlife indigenous to this planet around me, even if I can't always see it. So I know, and part of my practice is very, very invested in making sure all of those things remain somewhat intact. So I don't, as part of my spirituality, I can't see myself reinvesting on another planet. Not to mention that Mars does not suit anyone who chooses to practice strictly outdoors, skyclad, for a lot of environmental reasons, and not just because it might be a little nippy outside. So, I mean, it would definitely require adaptation, and I'm curious if anybody has ever considered, intergalactic pagan faith and what that might look like, or if somebody had ever read maybe a short story or something that reflected those notions. So, so please, comment below if you have, and I'll also link the article. It's again from Yahoo Travel site, but I'll link it in the undercarriage if you want to take a look at it, and if you feel inclined to submit your own 1-minute video, because I'll look at the intro to this 2-year competition, and it'd be interesting if there was actually a pagan contestant. It'd be kind of exciting. Hard to imagine that I'd be in my early 40s when we may be sending settlers to another planet. You're raised with television and Star Trek and Star Wars and whatever, but it kind of never really hits home, I guess. I don't know. For me, it's still sort of kind of an abstract notion of being able to colonize other planets, and I know it's possible, I know we have the technology, but it's the question of finding the people with the guts to do it. And apparently they have a lot of applicants. So I guess people are willing to take this one-way trip. That's impressive, but you will definitely be remembered in history then. So, it would be interesting if one of those people remembered by history is a devotee of the god Mars. So, anyway, comment below, and I hope everyone's enjoying whatever weather you have. Hello. I'm gonna put my AC back on. Alright, I'll talk to y'all later. Cheers.